Hey all, it's Karen Twin. So we're going to learn how to draft the 6 pieces Bustier blouse. So for my shoulder there is 8, for my neck width is 4, depth is 4. So I'm going to connect the 2 points together. So for my bust point is 10, my under bust is 13, my waist line is 16, then my top length is 24, then 1 inch for sewing allowance. So I'm going to bring out all the points, the lines. I'm going to label it bust point, other bust line, waistline, then rather top length instead of half length there, then our allowance. So for my armhole is 8. I'm going to connect the line together. Then I went down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. So for my nipple to nipple is 4, so I'm going to mark 4 from my bust line down to my allowance, and I'm going to connect the point together. So I divide my shoulder into 2, my armhole rather into 2, went in by half an inch, then connect it together. So I place my bust point measurement, my waistline measurement, and then my top length measurement. So I'm going to connect it together. So from my top length, I went out by 2 inch up to my under bust. Then I'll draw connect the point together. Then connect the one to from my under bust to my bust point with a curve rule. For the armhole there, I went up by half inch. Then I connect it to my bust point. Then I went down by 1 inch. Then I used the curve rule to connect it to my bust point as well. So from that my armhole, I went up by 1.5 inch. So for this other part to 1.5 inch, then I'll connect the point together. That will serve as my new armhole. So after that, I'll just input my measurements and also replace the ones I took for the bustier. Then I'll measure point together. So from that half length or the allowance, I went out by 2.5 inch and I connected to the waistline. Then for the other part here, so I went out by 2.5 inch. I also connected to the waistline there too. Just watch what I'm doing. And from the bottom part there, I went up by 1.5 inch. I did the same thing for the other part. Then I look for the midpoints between the both. Then after marking it, I connect the line together. I just don't want the bottom part to be straight, so I just want to make some sharp curve there. So here we have it. We're just going to cut. So I'm done with the side front. So I'm going to add a paper at the bottom part here. So I bring out my nipple line and I just draw a straight line downwards. So I mark 2.5 inch there, and I'm going to connect it to my waistline. And I'm going to cut now. I went up there by 1.5 inch, the same thing I did for the side front. Then I look for the middle point. Then I connect it together. And then I'll cut. So here we go. The front part is ready. So I'm just going to label it now, center front and side front. So we're going to go ahead to the back part. So I'm going to go in by 2 inch. That will be for our zipper. So as we all know, the shoulder is 8, neck width is 4, depth is 3. I'm going to connect the point together. Then I'm going to mark my upper bust, which is 8, waistline, which is 16, then the top length, which is 24, and then 1 inch for allowance as well. So this part we don't need other under bust or bust points. So I'm going to label it my upper bust line on my waistline and top length. So I'm going to determine my armhole now. Then went down by 1/2 inch for my shoulder slope. So I'm going to take my darts here. For the back part here is 4, so I'm going to connect all points together. So for the waistline, I took 1/2 inch for both sides, and I'll connect the point together. So I divide my armhole into 2, which is 4. So I place my bust point at the upper bust line there. So I'll just connect it. So you know, in drafting the armhole is different from the front armhole as well. So I went up by 1/2 inch and I connected to the upper bust line. So I decided to input all my measurements together as well as the one I took for my darts. So here you go. So from the bottom part there, I'm going to go out by 2.5 inch, the same thing I did for the front part. So I'll connect it to the waist line there. So for the other part there too, I'm going to go out by 2.5 inch. Then I'll connect it to the inner dart. Here you go. So I went up by 1.5 inch. I did the same thing for the other part. Then look for the midpoint between the two lines there. Then I'll connect it together. So basically it's the same thing I did from the front at this bottom part. That's the same thing I'm doing for the back as well. So I'm done with one side. I'm just going to cut now. So here you're going to include another paper at the bottom part there. Then I'll bring out my darts line. So I went out by 2.5 inch. Then I connect it to the other dart. Here you go. So I went up by 1.5 inch. Look for the midpoint between the two. Then I'll connect the line together. So I'm just going to cut now. So guys, we are done. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to click the like button and as well subscribe. So here you have it. So thank you for watching and bye.